What's going on, everyone? Welcome to the inaugural episode of Mario's Time Machine. Let's get it started.
It's time, my cunning Koopas, to use the time machine and steal the most valuable artifacts that history has to offer. Mario, my collection is almost complete, and there's not a thing that you can do to stop me.
Bowser's museum is inside his castle. I have to get in there and return all the stolen artifacts before history is changed forever. At last, Bowser's castle. I'll show that no-good reptile he can't mess with history as long as I'm around to set things right. Wahoo!
The greatest collection of all time is nearly complete, and it's all mine. No one can stop me now. Not even Mario.
Well, we'll see about that, Bowser. You know that Mario is a tricky fella, especially when I'm controlling him. Anyway, here we go. Welcome to, as I said before, welcome to the inaugural episode of Mario's Time Machine trademark. Let's start our adventure. You know Mario, you love Mario. I bet you didn't know he was also a time traveler. This is gonna be fun. Of course, if you know anything about this game, you would know that it sounds pretty fun, seeing Mario travel through time, but it's really edutainment is the correct term for it, I believe. But I mean, we're still gonna play it. You know how it is. So in this first episode, we're gonna run through the basic gameplay loop right here. You see, I got my score on the top. We got our bonus on the top as well. I'm not really gonna be playing for a high score. I think I'm just gonna be using passwords, if I'm being completely honest. And I think the passwords reset your score, but don't quote me on that. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So you collect your first artifact. You see this apple up here. Now we have to first check where we gotta go with the R button. You see on the top of the test, we have to go to Cambridge in 1687. Now, as the game said, we have to use the L button for the time machine. We do want to be in AD. And then we want to be in Cambridge, the year of our Lord, Cambridge. Where is Cambridge? It'll be there eventually. There it is. There it is. All right, Cambridge in 1683. Or no, 1687. What the hell am I talking about? Wait. 16. All right, Mario's having a bit of trouble with with his writing. Anyway, let's time travel. So now, after you enter the date, you got to go time surfing, which is honestly it's not that bad. It's got some pretty catchy music. I'm gonna go for that mushroom. Maybe I got it, maybe I didn't. I wasn't really paying attention. But you gotta collect 10 mushrooms to make sure you're up to speed. And then after you collect 10 mushrooms, you have to... Hold on, just let me collect these foos. I didn't get any bonus, but that really doesn't matter. You gotta go into one of these time whirlpools. And you wind up in Cambridge. Here it is. Now, we could just do the test immediately and then return the apple to Isaac Newton, but what fun would that be? First, let's visit everyone. So let's start by going in the courtyard. Here's Isaac Newton right there. Hi, I'm trying to return this. Please, away with you, small person. I must publish a book of my discoveries, and I cannot recall the origin of my theory of gravity. What a dreadful birthday has befallen me this day. The question is, what day is it? That'll be important later. Hello, can you tell me where I am? What? Now, let's talk to this guy first. Hello, can you tell me where I am? Why, this is England's Cambridge University, my man. This is where Isaac Newton went to school. He was a student of mine. What did Isaac Newton do here? Here, well, to tell you true, Newton did most of his groundbreaking work at his family. Oh, wait. Okay, yeah, to tell you true, Newton did most of his groundbreaking work at his family farm in Woolsthorpe. That was during the 2 years that the Black Plague shut down the university. What is he best known for? I say that would have to be his theory of gravity and his laws of motion. Perchance you'd care for his second law of motion, which he himself wrote upon this paper. Oh, go on and keep it, lad. Do you know if anyone lost an apple? A curious question. An apple. No, I've lost my calculus book myself. I'm finding it most difficult to concentrate upon finding anything else. Okay. So now we have another item. I gotta press the select button to equip it. That will be important later. Now, first, let's talk to this other guy real quick. What is this place? My good man. This, my good man, is the Royal Society. We are a collection of learned men of science who meet to promote scientific discussion. I cannot imagine your business here. Excuse me, I was just asking about Newton. I see, a friend of Isaac's, eh? 'Tis true, it must be said, he is one of the great minds of our age. He was made a full-fledged member at the age of 30, that young upstart. Maybe I should be doing the Mario voice for this.
Wow, what did he do?
He may have put me out of business. Take this lens. I grind precision lenses for telescopes. The Newtonian reflecting telescope may make them obsolete.
What's a reflecting telescope?
Ask his astronomer friend, Edmund Halley, 2 doors down. I'd need to find my unfinished manuscript of the Principia to tell you anything more about Newton. It was the only copy in existence. Alright. Well, we can't give this guy, force equals mass times acceleration. Let's talk to this guy.
Hi, can you tell me where I am?
A Merry Christmas to you, sir. And welcome, this is Cambridge, one of the oldest universities in the world.
Gee, what are you studying?
Many disciplines of infinite fascination. Astronomy, physics, mathematics. It was, of course, much easier before Isaac Newton invented the calculus.
What's calculus?
Oh, 'tis to make the head swim. Calculus is a very advanced type of mathematics that has allowed us to solve innumerable problems which remained mysteries before. You may have this book on calculus. Sorry, it is a little late.
Can you tell me why this apple is important?
Of what import could such a fruit be, I prithee? Leave me now. I must finish this lecture upon Isaac Newton's 3 laws of motion, and the second one escapes my memory. Now we can give him the second law of motion. Strike me down, it is Newton's second law of motion. This is perhaps the most important law in physics. F equals ma, it means force equals mass times acceleration.
What are the other laws of motion?
The first is that a body is either at rest or moving in a straight line. No, that a body either at rest or moving in a straight line remains that way unless acted upon by an outside force. Galileo was the first to recognize that.
What are the second and third laws of motion?
The second is F equals ma, as I've said. The third states that for each action there is an equal and opposite reaction.
What else can you tell me about Newton?
As with most physicists, he made his most important discoveries in his 20s. He said that at that time his mind was remarkably fit for invention. I must confess I'm feeling the same way.
Can you tell me anything more?
I'm sorry, but there's nothing more to tell. Okay. So now we do have the lens cap. So let's give it over to Edmund Halley over here.
Excuse me, my name is Mario.
A pleasure to meet you, sir. I am Edmund Halley. Yes, he is Edmund Halley. And the astronomer.
Edmund Halley, as in Halley's Comet?
I haven't discovered that yet. What are you talking about? Oh no, we don't exist anymore. You refer, no doubt, to the great comet of 1862 using Isaac Newton's theory of gravitation and the laws of motion. I have predicted its return in about 16 years. 76 years, not 16. What the hell am I talking about?
Sounds like you owe a lot to Isaac Newton.
He is without peer. In fact, I am financing the publication of his Principles of Mathematics, which I call him by the Latin name Principia for short. You may have the rough draft.
Did Isaac Newton help astronomy in any other ways?
Beyond measure, but just right now I seem to have misplaced my telescope lens. Do you see it, old chap?
Here it is.
Just the lens I need. One day, in big telescopes, we'll use Isaac Newton's discovery that a curved mirror works like a lens. Big metal mirrors don't distort as badly as big glass lenses.
So Newton is important to astronomy.
Immensely so, his theory of gravitation allows us to understand the orbits of the planets. Perhaps one day we shall send rockets to the moon, and all because of a common apple.
An apple like this?
Why, yes. When, as a young man, Newton saw an apple fall, he realized that the same force kept the moon in orbit about the Earth. It was a true revelation.
Can you tell me anything more?
I'm sorry, but there's nothing more to tell. Okay, so now I have the Principia and I have the calculus book, so I can return the calculus book to you. My missing book? You have my eternal gratitude. Now I could ponder the confounding equations which Newton has developed in his 20s. That is, if I didn't grasp them already, of course.
What has Newton done lately?
Many things. He's been writing the Principia and studying theology, history, and alchemy. They say one day he'll go to Parliament or run the mint, or even be made a knight by the Queen.
Can you tell me anything more?
I'm sorry, but there's nothing more I can tell you. Okay, we just have one more thing to return, the Principia. Ah, my lost Principia. Now I could read this while I await the publication of his next great work, which I believe he is calling Optics. That is Latin for optics. As no doubt you have surmised. Why, yes, I did surmise that.
What's optics?
It is the study of light and its behavior as it travels through the lenses. With a simple prism, Newton has shown that white light is made up of a spectrum of colors. Now, why didn't I think of that?
How much of science has Newton influenced?
Physics, mathematics, astronomy, they were all a jumble before Newton. I hate to admit it, but he is perhaps the most influential scientist, if not person, of the age.
Can you tell me anything more?
I'm sorry, but there's nothing more I can tell you. Okay. And as you can see, I have nothing left in the inventory, so now let's take our test. I hope you were paying attention, because let's get started. Born on... Now, Isaac Newton did say it was his birthday, and that other guy did say it was Christmas. Christmas Day, you say? Isaac Newton went on to become one of the world's great scientists. Newton was uninterested in school until he attended Cambridge University. That's where we are, but his studies there were interrupted by London's great Black Plague of 1665. In 2 short years, back at his family farm in Woolsthorpe, I'm reading ahead, man, Newton invented calculus, made major discoveries in optics, and formulated his famous theory of blank after observing a falling apple. Theory of gravitation. Let's go to page 2. Newton's 3 laws of motion. Where is motion? Revolutionized both physics and... Hold on. I think it's both physics and astronomy. He also discovered the blank of white light. The optics. No. That's not one of the options. The spectrum of white light, and invented the first blank telescope. Reflecting telescope. Although London's Royal Academy of Science made him a full-fledged member at the young age of 24. 30? Okay. I was a little off. There was a bit of confusion in the 20s and 30, you know? But it doesn't really matter. We could get questions wrong, it doesn't matter. For publishing his discoveries in 2 landmark books, the Principia. Okay. You know, actually, I just wanted to show off what would happen when you get a question wrong. That's it. Anyway, now that we completed the quiz, we can return this apple.
Mr. Newton, remember the apple?
Good heavens, that's it. The apple falls for the same reason that the moon orbits the Earth. It all comes back to me. Thank you, Mario. I can complete the Principia now. Need anything else, Isaac? Not now, Mario, but I dare say I'm baffled. I simply cannot seem to comprehend the physics of how you managed to jump so impressively. Anyway, now we can leave. We leave by pressing L. And now the camera zooms in on Mario's massive hand. And then you could press the button in the time machine. We collect our points. We get our password. You can continue from where I am if you want to play with me, for lack of a better word. But, I will see you guys on the next adventure. Let's pick up our next artifact, which will be in Orleans in 1429. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Sorry, the outro's a little awkward.